welcome to the greatest show, that's GITEX Global Dubai, and we're at the Future Blockchain Summit, FinTech Surge, and the North Star Expand, right, at the Dubai Harbor. So I have Lokesh over here, who is from ezto, right, who you are the CTO, right? So hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me here. So far, the FinTech Surge was really awesome.
And like it's the last day for this Harbor event, right? The first half of the GITEX Global. How was your previous 3 days?
The 3 days was quite informative, and we could able to make many potential customers very focused for the fintechs and banks and other things. So since we work on the same sector, we could able to relate to the customers who's coming to our booth. So it was really thought-provoking and as well as mind-blowing with fintech moving out of GITEX as a separate one. So it was quite easy for us to connect to the relevant audience.
And in terms of the footfall and the diversity we have here, so it's like we can get to see much more people from different sectors, right? And yeah, talking about you, so you're the CTO, so you know the all in and out for the tech side of the ezto, right? So how does the ezto works?
So EC2 is a unified identity verification platform. So we work on one API based verifications. Under the one API, we have 2000 digital checks can be done across multiple regions. We support 185 countries of ID verifications, pass keys. Even we also integrated UAE pass within our system so that any organizations can take UAE pass out of box, integrate into their system under 4 hours. So when we talk with the footfall is more relevant to the system, what we are already working with. Most of them are banks, fintechs, integrators, system integrators. So where they want to do a collaboration with us to bring this solution faster to the market. So we help businesses to cut the dev cost, and then improve the development faster, go to the market faster, secure. So that's what mostly we do at our platform.
And talking about the integration of your existing system, I mean, how does it work? Like it's a plug-and-play system, some SDK or maybe APIs or something. How does it work?
So we have a dashboard where you can build your own workflows of verifications into how you want to do a verification. It can be a ID verification at the first, and then you want to do a UAE pass, you want to do a biometric verification, facial verification. You can build all this in our workflows, and then you can drop an SDK to your existing systems, probably a mobile application or a web application or a desktop application or a middleware or a firewall. It could be any kind of systems you want to do. So our one entry point is always an API. So we call it as universal API. For under the 2000 digital checks, whatever you build, you can integrate with your system with just calling one API. That's how we work, and everything is a plug and play. You can just remove it on dynamic, and you can be able to create a simple to complex workflows, how you want to verify. You can all build it from our system. So main areas like we don't save any personal information data. All the data is completely real time. Once the real time verification is done, we'll send back all the data back to the system. So that it's up to the customer, how do they want to save the data or maintain the data. So that's how we predominantly work.
So it's also having the part for the data security as well. So it's not kept with you. So it's just for the company and the customer only. So they don't have an issue keeping the data out leaked, right? Apart from that, how do you feel about the newer generations? We're talking about like blockchain also jumped into fintech related projects, right? And we still have the existing models. So we have like both centralized and decentralized, and both need identity verification for sure. So how integral is this part for any system?
So since I said we are mostly an API driven, so API been there in the systems for almost 20-25 years, so everyone understands what is an API, how it works. So it can be decentralized or centralized. You always need to verify the users who is actually doing the process, because most of the attacks is happening in the country or over the world is through phishing attacks. You just receive a message, you click a link, someone's asked you to do. It can be decentralized or centralized, it doesn't matter. Always it's someone is actually doing behind the system. You need to verify them every time before you allow them to access your system. Example, let's take Wazir, which is basically a crypto engine which has been taken from the cold wallet, right? So those kind of attacks is common for both blockchains, cryptos, Web3s, all the places is there. So our system is just an API call, just call an SDK, that's all. Everything we will take care of the verification. And as you said, we don't save the PA data, so the data secure is much more with us, so they can able to process how do they want to do it. But it's easy for the organization to take decisions faster, control their threats, control their attacks, basically.
And talking about the newer tech, the Web3, as well as the Web2. I need both they need verifications, right? And that's where you come along and play the make easier role. Like last 2 weeks ago, there was a big hack for a crypto exchange, right? Millions of data was stolen. So it can be for any person, right? And so how do you, apart from your perspective, like for the data security, what do you feel our systems like fintech as in Web3 and Web2, what do else they need to grow better, right?
So there are multiple touch points when you come to an organization. So all these touch points needs to be secured, right? So let's take out what we are doing. So ultimately, any organizations have to secure their data. How do they save it? So the point is like when we are rushed, when you are in the rush, we miss out few points, how to integrate or how to do it. All the security we miss. That's where the hackers come into the picture. So always, what we say is like we need to have a proper tools and proper integrations into the system to enable that whether are we secure, and then you need to do a complete audit every time, every 3 months once when you are growing faster. It helps you to solve major of the problems what you are going to happen in another 1.5 years, because when you are getting popular, all the eyes will go on top of you. When you are revolving around the money transactions, then absolutely you will be in the spotlight to the hackers and to the other people. So my advice to the organizations is like normally you have to do an audit regularly, and you need to see who is having access to what and how do they are accessing. It should be monitored regularly. You should need a dedicated system to handle all these things. There are plenty of tools available outside of the market. To take 5 years, it was a little bit slow. Now everyone is matured, market is matured, so there are plenty of available. Like us, there are plenty of tools. You can take use of that and secure the organization so that you can concentrate on your core business rather than juggling around all these issues. Yeah.
And what are your upcoming goals, like for next quarter or maybe a year? What are your plans?
So we are planning to move to Singapore. We are planning to move to Germany as well. So our plans is like to acquire as usual more customers. So we have a goal of $10 million as our revenue by next year. So that's where the focus is more on about. And UAE market, we are expanding into UAE market, and we have customers around here. So we are trying to expand more here. There are more problems here which we could solve. So that's majorly we are right now with the goal.
And I love to see different editions from Singapore, maybe Berlin or Hong Kong, right? So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the insights. Any last words you want to have?
Nothing much. So thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure to have a talk with you on related to the trends and other things is happening. So especially with the fintech surge, we are happy. We are the first. This is the first time we are coming here, and when it compared to GITEX, it is much more focused. Groups is coming out here, and we can able to talk with relevant audiences and things. So comes to the security. Always be aware what you are sharing, whom you are talking, and how you are accessing. All this has to be always aware. So though there are tools, you need to have a self-awareness. So that's why I say as a final words when it comes to the security point of view. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. I'll leave you and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you. Have you same day.
Thank you.